Hello everyone and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today I want to talk about things that I won't buy this year, or more so also things that I've talked myself out of buying, because let's be honest, there's so many things I don't buy. Like I haven't ever bought in my life, or I haven't bought for the past 5 years of like kind of trying to live a more sustainable life. But there's of course also things I kind of want to have, but I still talk myself out of buying for minimalism, intentional living and sustainability reasons, or because I just wanted them for a second and then I don't care about them anymore. But I'm gonna cook dinner while I talk to you. And first we have to clean up a bit here. How does my hair even look? Let's do the hair first before we actually get into the video. So let's cook some water. So we have some time before I need to start the sauce, because it's really simple. I think let's get started with the things that I do not want to buy this year, or that I talk myself out of buying because actually I kind of want to buy them. And number one is a big one, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that, and it's clothes. Now, if you've been following my videos for the past few years, you know that kind of like I've always had a minimalist wardrobe, but there's also always been a lot of changes in this minimalist wardrobe. And maybe I'm just passionate about clothing, or I don't know exactly, but I want to commit to not buy any clothes this year. There is an exception, and that's sponsorships, because that's part of like my income, and so there will maybe be new clothes in my wardrobe, but not because I bought them. Only if, you know, if I don't know, all of my pants rip and I desperately need a new pair of pants, then that would be an exception as well. But not just for fun. Like for fun, I've always been buying clothes, and I just think it's enough. There's enough clothes on the planet. There's enough clothes in my wardrobe. There's especially also enough clothes coming in through sponsorships, if there will be any. So I'm not gonna buy any new clothes in 2023, which I think is actually gonna be the hardest one of all of the things I'm talking about today. I want to mention one more thing about the clothes I'm not buying this year. So while I'm not buying like secondhand, new, sustainable fashion, there's like one category, and that's fast fashion, that I haven't bought for the last like 5 or 6 years. And that's really important to me. And I do really hope that in my life, I never will buy fast fashion again. There might be circumstances where it happens, but I really hope I can never buy that again, because I just think the whole system is so unethical and unsustainable. And actually number two is kind of related to that, because I don't want to buy any things from like brands I think are super unethical. For me, that would be Amazon, and it also would be Nestle and Unilever, and there are some brands that are huge brands, which makes it sometimes hard to avoid them, but I want to do my best, the best I can, to avoid them entirely and not buy anything from them. And this is on my list, because there's some products, especially some, vegan mock meats or stuff that's actually from like sub brands from Nestle. And I've bought one once last year without realizing it's from Nestle, and it was amazing, and I kind of want to buy it again. But on the other hand, I just really do not want to support this business in general. So I will avoid these brands as much as possible. And again, I know some people cannot avoid Amazon, some people cannot avoid certain like products from Unilever, Nestle, depending on what your grocery store offers and so on. But I will just do my best to avoid them, because I think they don't fit well with my values I have for living. And the third one is actually one that is kind of hard for me as well, even though it's something I really don't need. So as you might know, I have this one backpack that I own. And it's from Wakes, this small sustainable brand from Berlin. And I'm again gonna link it down below for you, and I can just highly recommend this backpack. I've had it now for 3 years. And for these last 3 years, I only had this backpack. I used it for university, grocery shopping, everyday stuff, traveling, like for everything. And I'm so happy with this backpack. But there's something, like backpacks are just also a passion of mine, kind of like sweaters maybe. So I always keep like seeing backpacks. The last one I can like clearly remember was in a movie or like in a TV show. I just thought like, oh, I'd like to have a backpack like that. And then I keep like researching and watching YouTube videos about the best backpacks for all around one bag travel backpack, stuff like that. And I just really don't need a new backpack. So I do talk myself out of buying a new backpack, because this Wakes backpack I have is really everything I need. But I still keep like looking at backpacks and looking if there's something that is as perfect or is even more perfect, even though I haven't found any backpack that would be better than the Wakes backpack that I have for what I need. So yeah, no new backpacks for me this year. Boiling. During the last few months, I've just kind of always used like regular spoons and forks for cooking. I don't know why exactly. It's not the most convenient thing to do, but that's kind of just how I did it. So, but let's move on this list. It's getting a bit more stressful here, but we can do that. Oh, I just want to say cameras are another thing like that. I do not want to buy a new camera this year because I'm actually really happy with the one I have. But it's always tempting, and I'm just always looking at like new models and seeing if there's like the perfect camera. Because I do have to say, like my backpack is really kind of perfect, but my camera, I think a camera can never be 100% perfect. And so I'm kind of always on the lookout if there's like a new model coming out that would be even more perfect. But I don't think it's gonna happen, and it's an expensive thing, and I have one that works so well that I really don't want to buy a new camera this year. The same actually also goes for other tech related stuff, but I might buy a new microphone, so I'm not sure about that, but that might be happening. But I just want to like not upgrade or just buy new tech because it would be nice. On one hand, because tech is just something that's really harmful to the environment, like the tech trash is a difficult kind of trash. And on the other hand, because it's expensive and I don't need it kind of like just for minimalism and sustainable and intentional living purposes. It would absolutely be possible to make this vegan, I think, but I haven't tried yet. And so vegetarian it is. Something else I'm not gonna buy this year is yarn. And I mean, I've tried to build this knitting business for the past year, and I'm kind of at a point where I see that it's not working out the way I've been doing it. And I have so much yarn and I don't know where to put it, or it's kind of like just half of my possessions, of my personal possessions, are yarn, and that's too much. So this year I really want to focus on using what I have and knitting stuff out of the yarn I have, seeing where that leads me, but not buy more yarn. As tempting as it might be, if I find a perfect secondhand wool yarn that looks beautiful, but I don't think that's the right thing to do, so I'm not gonna buy more yarn. And I think that's especially maybe also helpful for like different hobbies we have, or sometimes also businesses we try to start, where I do agree that you sometimes have to invest in the beginning and buy stuff that makes it possible to have a business. But I also think it's always important to make sure that we don't buy stuff that's not necessary, that we don't spend and buy stuff thinking we would do all of these things, but first like start small with a small investment and see where that leads us, instead of, buying so much stuff when we haven't even done the first step or haven't done the second step maybe. Another thing that I have enough is shoes, and I've actually had that on my list last year as well, but that's also one of the things that I always keep like looking at shoes from different brands and Instagram accounts I follow. I'm thinking like, oh, I want this pair of shoes, oh, I want this pair of shoes. But on the other hand, I just have a pair of shoes for every occasion in my life, so I don't need to buy a new pair of shoes, only maybe if one of them like breaks and can't be used anymore. But other than that, I don't want to buy shoes in 2022. But it's a tempting thing for me. It's a tempting topic. But it's also one of the things that's kind of unsustainable if you buy too much of it and don't use it, because, it can never really be recycled well. Yeah. And maybe it's even better if you can buy like sustainable shoes to start with, but a shoe can only be that sustainable. And the last one is also one that was on my list last year, but I've kind of like, there's more to it. And it's like plants and decor and candles. We just have enough plants. And I'm not a huge decor person. And so if I want to have decor, I'm gonna kind of like make it myself, make it something meaningful, maybe print some pictures, but I'm not gonna buy any like throw pillows or decor items or things like that, because I think most of the time we get tired of them. They cost a lot of money, but maybe sometimes are produced in a bad way, or I don't want to buy any of these things this year, because I think it's gonna be a waste of money for me personally. Instead of that, I do want to spend money on the things we need, and that's actually where kind of 90% of my money goes, because I do need to live frugal because I don't have that much money. And on the other hand, stuff that I really, really enjoy, for me that would be traveling, food I enjoy, to try out new things, to go to different grocery stores that are maybe a bit more expensive, and just spending time with people, like tickets, digital purchases, stuff like that I know will add a lot of value to my life instead of clutter up my home. Now, I'm also going to follow my rule of loosely buying one item for myself per month, and for January so far I haven't bought anything, and I don't think I'm gonna buy anything, but we'll see. And now I would be really interested if there are things that you are not gonna buy this year, or if there's like categories, if you are in a low buy, no buy year, how your perspective is when it comes to intentional consumption. And I think now it's really time to take these out of the water. Hey, there's one. They're done. Okay. Actually, we'll use some of this pasta water for the sauce. Now let's throw these in here. Here we have it. It's like a simple lemon cream pasta, and it's really delicious. It doesn't look very fancy though. Let me give it a taste. See if talking and making a video while cooking is something that works. Yeah, they're delicious. Maybe they were better last time, but it's okay. So now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm gonna link you a video right here that I hope you'll enjoy. Oh, actually, let me link you the video of everything I bought last year for myself. So I'm gonna leave that here for you. I hope you'll check it out, and I hope I'll see you there. Otherwise, in my next video. Bye.